Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am bringing you another in our Disney classics, or our Disney visit at Thanksgiving last year for that album. Today is going to focus on Disney California and our visit to, again, the Avenger kind of area, but more focused on Spider-Man. And Spider-Man and a little bit of a photo op kind of thing that they have over there. So a little bit more holiday-ish kind of stuff. I hope you like it. I hope it's something you can replicate. That's my goal. And I am going to be using a template that I made today, but I'm going to go ahead and try to find a way to post a picture of that for you so that you can replicate it as well if you want to. Because it's kind of difficult and will be very time consuming if I try to walk you through making the template. But if you can look at the photo and make the template ahead of time, then watch the video. It will go much more smoothly for you. So yeah, let's check out my desktop and get started, okay? All right, so this is the right-hand side of the layout from last time, you may recall. And this does have some Spider-Man-ness to it. This is kind of more the Spider-Man ride that we went on. You can see the count of our webs that we successfully slung, or the number of bugs we killed. I don't know, I can't remember. But we had to kind of find these guys, and it wasn't hard to find them, but we had to sling webs at them, so that was super fun because literally you just like flung your arm out, and there was some kind of a sensor that could sense when you did that and what you were aiming for, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, today we are going to do something more along the lines of the Spider-Man actual like campus, because they did kind of a live little show with Spider-Man, as you can see here, live and in person, and he did all kinds of things, and I don't have super great pictures of it because it was up on another story higher than I was, and we were kind of over to the side. So anyway, but I thought it would be fun to include these. And I thought it would be really fun to take this logo that you can see right here on the side of the building and recreate that on my page somewhat. Because this is similar to the logo that is found on the chest of his uniform, his outfit, or costume. So we're going to do that for this side of the page, and then this side of the page is going to be more of kind of holiday type, just a kind of a really relatively simple holiday, couple borders and stuff. Because of Santa, as you can see right here. So we'll talk more about that when we get that far. But let me go ahead and set these up here, and we will get to the part that I think is going to be the most tedious for this particular layout, and that is the making that emblem for Spider-Man. So I'm going to just set these pages aside because we will get to them eventually, but for right now we're going to need to get to this. Okay, so what I did was I got a piece of white 12 by 12 paper, not cardstock, although I could have used cardstock to do it, but I just grabbed a piece of kind of flimsy 12 by 12 paper there was a cover sheet for one of my paper packs that was not cardstock again, and I used my 12-inch zero centering ruler, and I created this half of a template. As you can see, it's not the full template, it's only half. And my thought is, if I trace this on this side, I can flip it over and trace it on this side and then cut it out. it's going to take a long time for me to do it. It won't take as long in your video because I will speed all that up and or delete some of it out, edit some of it out, so that you don't have to watch the whole thing. But I wanted to show this to you. This is how I'm going to do it. And I will, like I said, find a way to give you a picture with the measurements for all of these little bits in here. It really wasn't as hard as I expected it to be to create this, but it did take some finagling and a little bit of, you know, trial and error, lots of eraser, that kind of thing. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and start tracing this, and I am going to use my zero centering ruler and a fine Sharpie pen, fine tip Sharpie pen. Probably could use pencil, but I'm worried I won't be able to see it as well on this. And all I'm going to do is go through here and, oh, by the way, I did tape this down with some repositionable adhesive in a couple of places just so that it wouldn't shift on me, because I don't want it to shift at all. That would not be good. All right, so I'm just going to come in through here and trace my template. I'm not going to trace the center line because I want this to be connected, but I will go ahead and trace all of these lines so that I can more easily cut them out. Because this is one you're going to want to use an X-Acto knife to cut out, or just fussy cut it. There's really no way to get around that, unfortunately. Sometimes I keep wanting to trace both sides, and then I forget, well, what did I trace? What didn't I trace? Then the other question is, well, do you want to use the positive from what you're tracing, or do you want to use the negative from what you're tracing? You know what I mean? Are you going to make the background red so that the spider is black? Or are you going to make the didn't get this one right here. Are you going to make this the spider red and just let the page be the background since the page is black? All these decisions, right? All right, I think I got all of that traced on there. Let's see. I missed this part. Did I get it all? Almost. Close enough. I can fix that little part right there. Not a problem. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. I would turn it around, except that I'm concerned that my drawing is not completely symmetrical. It's pretty close, but it's not exact because it's difficult to be super exact, right? So it's not exact. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip this, just rubbing off the repositionable adhesive, and then I'm going to go ahead and just add it back to the main points, or the points that I'm concerned are going to move. Okay, then we're going to flip it this way, line it up again, right with the edges. And right with these points. All right, now I'm going to trace this side. All right, let's see if I got all of the pieces on this side. Yeah, I think I did a better job on this side than I did on the other one. That was on the other side. Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my first I'm going to get all the sticky off of my paper, because that will just cause issues for me. Okay, I'm going to grab my trimmer and just cut the outer edges of this with my trimmer so they're nice and straight and pretty. So we're just gonna lay this in here on the cutting line. Make sure if you used a Sharpie marker like I did, make sure that when you cut, you're cutting on the inside of the line so that you don't get the line on your design, if that's what you are going for. You could always flip over your paper too, as long as you're happy with what's on the other side. So that's an option. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my template over here to the side, and I'm going to put my pieces on here approximately where they ought to be, so that I can decide later which way I want them. May depend on how good I am at cutting. So now I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut the rest, an X-Acto knife and my my zero centering ruler, because it makes a good template and it's clear and easy to see through. Or if you have a rolling cutter like this, you could use this if you're fairly good at it. I'm going to use my my X-Acto knife because I feel like it will give me crisper corners, and that's important to me. So I want to be able to see what I'm cutting, and I'll make sure that I'm starting and stopping in the places that are best. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this out. It's going to take a few minutes, but I'll speed it up for you in the video. Alright, let's see how well I did. I may need to snip this in a couple of spots, but hopefully not too many. So there's that one. Come on. Sometimes you have to just coax it just a little to come undone. Alright, I think that one goes down there. So it might go up on top. Maybe it goes up here. Yeah, that works better. Okay. That's gonna go over here on this side. One more piece. All right, that one goes like that. Okay, so here we have our cool spider web. Let's see which way we like it better. So we've got this way, and then the other option is to go ahead and line up these guys. Oh well, hang on. I need to flip these over because I don't want the inked side to show. And I seem to be missing a triangle. Where did that go? How very odd. Oh, it fell on the floor, that's why. Okay, there's that one, and that one. Okay, so now we've got a better vision. I kind of like this way best, I think. I am not really liking this one as much as this one. All right, so we're going to use this for my sample. You can do whatever you'd like with yours. And so I'm just going to set those over there, and I'll take a picture with measurements of that for y'all for later. And let's go ahead and get some repositionable adhesive on this guy. I'm not necessarily trying to be liberal with my adhesive, but I don't want him to come off, so I'm trying to make sure I hit all the high points. All right, now we're gonna adhere him. All right, that looks good. Stick him down. I'm not one for fussy cutting, you know me, but once in a while I think it can be fun to do. So, all right. So what we want on this page is just a couple of cute little borders, and so I pulled some samples of, some scraps of green and red, and I pulled my Totally Tonal Christmas stickers because I think that will be a fun and easy way to jazz this up. Let's see. Looks like I have been working through these pretty well, I think. I think we're going to use this one with the plaid because I like the plaid and I feel like it lends itself a little more to the black and white kind of a thing that we've got going here. I have a couple of punches that I pulled out. I have this one, which is the Winter Town, which I thought would be cute to do maybe in the green. And we'll save this to do some holly berries and this to do some holly leaves. And we'll do a Winter Town in this green. This is actually called parakeet shimmer paper, because I used the Firecracker shimmer to make the emblem on this side to go with my Spider-Man pictures. So I'm just punching one border to go across the bottom of this page, and I'm going to trim it off with my trimmer. I'm going to trim it at so that the base of my small town is at the far edge of my cutting mat. So usually to do that, I just sort of push it until I can't see the cutting mat anymore through any of the cut areas, and then I trim. All right, so now I've got my cute little Winter Town. Okay, I do have Oh, I forgot to pull out some I'm sorry. I'm thinking and I'm not speaking, and that's my bad. I do apologize. All right, so first I want to go ahead and I'm going to just punch kind of willy-nilly. It's going to look willy-nilly because all I want are the berries off this punch out of red. So I'm going to trim around the red holly leaves so that I can get the berries off of here. And let's do one more. I'm not really sure how many we're going to do, how many holly leaves we're going to do, but just in case we do more, I've got 3. I don't think I'll do more than 3. So I think that should be fine. All right, then I'm going to take the Sleigh Punch. If you have this one from a couple years ago, this one is a fun one. For Santa's sleigh, we're going to just go ahead and punch one of those, and he's stuck inside. Okay, let's see here. Oh, someone must have borrowed, or I misplaced my tweezers. Let's see. In here? They are in here. They're just buried. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can grab it. Or maybe I can just... Oh, come on. There. Okay. Occasionally that happens. Something will get stuck inside one of the punches. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these cute little berries out. Not going to detach them completely. I just want to cut into it enough that I am sort of shaping the berries and cutting off the leaf, which is sometimes easier said than done. Sometimes my berries end up a little square. But close enough. So the pictures that are going to go on these 2 pages are of Disney California. If you've not been to Disney California before, it's a little bit like a cross. It's a little bit of kind of MGM type studios if you've been to one of the Disney MGM studio parks. They do some of the same types of things. I don't think I'm really liking those. I was thinking that would work, but now it's not really making me very happy. So let's try something different for those. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, they do a lot of thematic touches, which is really nice. I'm going to put this roughly 3/4 of an inch from the base of my page. Just like that. And then I'm going to take one of these and this is going to go across the bottom just high enough that you can't see the black page underneath. Of course you can see it on the ends right here, but I'm hoping people won't focus on that. All right, so okay, so we need to punch our holly. Let's punch our holly and then we'll worry about the berries. I can't see the holly from the back side, so when you can't see the punch from the back side, I always just try to line it up with this square that's on the front where they show the design of the punch, and I can usually be reasonably sure that that's where it's going to punch. Occasionally I'm off a little, but for the most part usually pretty close. All right, so we're just going to do 3 for right this minute, and I'm going to find a punch we can use to do some small circles. So this one, this Border Maker cartridge that's called Bubbles, I don't know if you can see that very well, hopefully you can see that, gives a lot of different size circles. So I like to use this when I need a small circle for, like I do here, for this inside of this punched area. And I just kind of line it up roughly where I think I'm going to get the most bang for my buck with the circles that are the best size, and punch a bunch of it, and then I toss what I don't use. All right, let's see how we're doing. So I'm gonna leave that with that because I'm not gonna use that. And we're going to I'm just gonna pull these 3 onto my work table for a minute. I think this calls for some pinpoint adhesive. So I'm gonna grab my pinpoint adhesive and put a little dot, dot, dot on each one. Each berry, just like so. And then ideally I can come in here and I can grab whatever size circle I think I'm gonna want and go ahead and just place it right where I want it to be. This is kind of a situation where having slightly sticky fingers actually comes in very handy, because you can kind of pick up what you want without having to scoop it off the table. Okay, so there's some holly berries. berry. I like that size, but it's hard to find that size because it doesn't, the punch doesn't punch an abundance of them. Just tap it down. Maybe we could use one that's a little bit bigger. Might need more glue. A little more adhesive. That one. Have to work fast if you put glue on all of them at once, because it starts to dry. Let's see, one more. All right, that'll work. Okay, so my holly berries are good. These are also great for shaker cards if you like to make shaker cards for friends. And you have that punch in your arsenal, because here again, I think it was from Old Company. I've had that one for a very long time, and I value it greatly. It is awesome. All right, so the other thing I was going to do is give Santa's sleigh some reindeer. So I need some brown paper, which I did not pull. Give me 1 second. Here is a piece, a scrap from Genuine, which is a collection that I used on my husband's album a while back, you might recall. And we're just going to punch a few reindeer. We want them all going the same direction. And I think I want them going actually the opposite direction. So let's punch this way. Do another one. We'll do 3. Should we do 3? We do more than 3. Because I've got paper, I'll just keep punching. We'll see how many we can get that are headed the right direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I don't know if we'll do 6. We may just do 5. We'll see. All right. So these guys are headed the wrong way. We'll set them over there so we don't get too excited about them. And this guy is gonna hang out down here. Got adhesive on my bob. Okay, so my question for myself is, do I want to go ahead and add that across the top? I think I do, because I want a little bit more red than just the sleigh up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this guy across, and I'm gonna make it about the same distance from the top as the bottom one is from the bottom, like so. Okay, and then we'll add let's check out our pictures and see what we're gonna do. So I've got this picture of the center. I've got this picture of Spider-Man, which I can crop. I've got this picture of Spider-Man, which I probably should crop. Then I've got these pictures. So this was lunch, and we ate at the Pim something or other. Anyway, this was the chicken sandwich. The bun was normal size, and this chicken patty was, they must have pounded it out or something. I've never seen a chicken with a chicken breast that big, but it was ginormous, like in a big way, ginormous. Then we walked down and around the street, and there was this huge backdrop up here of white clouds and blue sky, and it turned out that Santa was flying right in front of it. So that's why I decided to add Santa to this layout. And I'm going to move those off there just a little. I'm going to do some cropping here to make all of this fit. This is my son and my daughter, or my husband and my son, pointing out the building that they were headed to and the backdrop of the other building, which I'm sure was part of the ride that they went to, because we're doing Guardians of the Galaxy next. And I think that may have been right where that building was. I may be wrong, but I think that was the case. Okay, so we're just going to leave that one as a square. And I'm going to make this one a square. Maybe 4.5. That one is 4.5. We'll make this one 4.5. This one is cool because there was a young lady that was looking and this little boy, and they were super excited about Santa, being able to see Santa, which is cool. All right, and so I've got those ready to go. Let's crop Spider-Man into a 3x4. Because we don't need all of that in there. Can't hardly see him. And I'm going to make this one a 3.5. Because we don't need all the tree. But it is still kind of nice to get a sense of how he was way up there. And we'll try not to cover up the whole cool thing that we just made, right? Okay. I think we'll make Santa the star of this particular layout. Because why not? Which means we're going to have to put this one a little bit under. And we'll lower this. All right, so that means Santa's sleigh is going to be about there. And we're just going to add some reindeer. Taking care of his sleigh. Doesn't have to be super accurate. Makes it really hard to see because they're both the same pattern. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll not use so many reindeer. Like that. Something like that. Okay, let me get the rest of these on here so that we can move on to our next fun thing. Maybe what I'll do is just kind of tuck this picture a little bit behind that border down there in the bottom. Not all the way, but just a tiny bit. Okay, and then we're gonna use our foam squares and pop up the holly. And these holly berries, I'm just gonna kind of add in. Let's see, maybe I don't want to cover up the sleigh completely. I just want to kind of add a little bit to the sleigh. And then maybe we'll add these other holly berries to the spider side of things. And I'll add a title to this side also. Help a girl out. There we go. All right. So we spent a lot of time today working on this design right here, and I know I've heard people say before, you spent all that time making that design and then you covered it all up. Well, yes, and partly because for me, my albums are about my pictures, so if I have a photo that I'm putting on a page and there's a design that I maybe worked hard to put on there and the photo is going to cover it, I'd rather see the photo, to be completely honest. I'd rather see the photo than the design work. So, you know, it's really not critical to me. I'd rather not cover up or cut out a photo. It is up to you. It's your book, so you can do as you know, see fit, which is what scrapbooking is all about, right? So I'm gonna just, let's see, where am I gonna add this guy in? I want him to kind of be up this way, but I want to be able to put the title maybe right here. So we'll add the holly right there, and then that way I can use this space up here for a title. All right, what do you think? I think it turned out reasonably well. I'm pleased with how that worked, and once the title is on there, it'll make all kinds of sense and be helpful. But I like it on the black page too. I think it helps it really pop off and look spectacular. Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure that you like and subscribe to my page so that you never miss a layout. All right? I'll make sure and put the template for this guy in the comments somehow. I'll figure that out. All right? Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day now.